Thanks for joining us for another great episode of Your Town, where we really focus on the arts or the answer for my part. And really grateful to Mark Bear for being our big producer and making all these things possible. And today our whole focus is going to be on for the best summer ever, the arts are the answer. And we're here with Ellen Martin from First Night, Lauren Cohen from My Museum, Fran Spector is going to be with us from Spector Dance, and we'll have more for you in this episode. Thank you so much. And Ellen, I'm so happy that you're here with us today.
Thanks, Paulette. Me too.
Can we start with First Night Monterey is so much, and most people think of the celebration that's congratulations now 25 years old, or the 25th one, or all these different things. And that's so magnificent and has all the publicity, and it's really, really big. But today we're really focused on other kinds of things that you're doing, notably the summer camps. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about how those are structured, what happens, and what the age levels might be? Because we're really thinking about parents today. How do you choose what your kids might be able to do this summer? Certainly we think the arts are the answer, and we want to show you more about that. So how about for First Night? What do you do?
Well, First Night, our offices are located at Archer Park in Monterey,
That's
New Monterey.
That's a great setting just to start with. Yeah.
So we have two parks on the adjacent to the building, but we have a big art studio. So we began, I don't know, maybe 7 years ago when the city quit having outdoor park during the summer, and also to address the needs of particularly working parents, and then having activities for youth in the Monterey Peninsula. So we have an all-day art camp. We begin at 9:30 and we go to 4. We have early supervision and late supervision for those working parents. And
so that's amazing. So that means that I could drop my person off if I have to go to work at 8:30 or 8 o'clock. Is that 8:30 start?
Yeah.
And then if it takes me a while to come circle back,
5:30.
Then 5:30 is the time. So that gives me a half an hour on either end if I work 9 to 5. So that's pretty awesome.
Right. So our youth that we have at the Archer Park Art Camp is from 11 to 16. And so we have 6 different sessions. When we first started, we were doing 2-week sessions because the kids really got involved. Yeah. They really learned the techniques, and then they had a whole portfolio of work. But now there's a lot of different art camps, so we found out that 1 week really works well, but a lot of parents sign up for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And so they're coming in, and the first thing that they're learning is that in art there's no mistakes. It's all a matter of perspective.
So take us through one of the typical days. What are they doing? Who's with them? How many kids are usually in a particular group?
Well, it can be from like 10 to 16 children. If it goes over 10, we would have 2 teachers, but we have 1 professional artist teaching, then we have a assistant, and then we might have a helper, because the kids are never alone, particularly at lunchtime. So they come in, and usually it's a warm-up exercise, or they're talking about the things that they're going to be doing. We'll have a whole history of projects that we're going to do, but we might change it up because some kids might be more makers than drawers or painters. Good. And so as that week goes on, we learn and adjust our projects too. We're really doing more maker projects, or that's their free time, because they really love cardboard. They love hot glue. And but they are going to get the fundamentals of the visual art. So they're going to learn perspective. They're going to learn how to draw, mix paint, complementary colors, and all those things. They'll have a diary that they start and work through. And then at the end of the session on Fridays, we have an art camp, like 40 minutes before the camp closes, where each child has 1 framed artwork, and then some on other ways of matting and framing them. And then they get a table and they set up their gallery.
Oh, that's wonderful.
What's really great is that all all of a sudden that child that really wasn't communicating that much, all of a sudden is really talking about the whole way that they went through and made this piece of art, and when they did this, and really discussing how they put it together or what their idea was.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. So what we find is that the kids working together really learn a lot. And that their parents say that they really mature and emotionally mature during the summer.
Because it's so immersive, right? It's just a week, but they're all together and they're learning hour by hour by hour, and that's so amazing to me. What are some of the things that you've really noticed that as you've refined your program and made little changes and whatnot, the kids really, you mentioned they blossom over the week.
2 weeks,
Can you take us through like a week or 2 weeks, and do you know like what it is that you're doing to facilitate that? How does that happen over time? So what I'm thinking of is, how do we talk about this to people who aren't necessarily themselves immersed in the arts, but they may have kids that they realize, wow, they might really, really benefit?
Oh, yes. I think that it's particularly helpful and an advantage to the youth that don't, maybe are soccer kids or football kids, and they come in and do art and are making art when they haven't been. And I think it's the making part for some kids that really are, or the process. Some kids want to get in there and start drawing and painting right away.
Yeah.
Some want to go through the process. I'm particularly like that myself. I like processes. And so to get that end product, so I think that's where they blossom and grow. And that's when they learn to enjoy art if they haven't had the experience of making art.
That's wonderful. Can you tell me, I think one of the keys that I notice over the years is the actual teaching artist and how that person may interact with the youth. Like they just know, they seem to know magically how to just listen, or to encourage somebody a little bit more, and be kind of like nudgy, move them forward, but gently. And they also know when to pick up the energy and whatnot. So what do you look for in the First Night Monterey summer camps? What are you looking for when you select people to be your own teaching artist?
Well, I like that they're a professional artist and making art themselves, and then that they are a teacher also, because there's a big difference between able to make art and really be a great artist and then be able to communicate and teach. I like to have two different teachers, that an assistant and a teacher, and they're different age groups. So, we've been lucky with getting CSUMB students and Hartnell students, maybe have a high school helper. So you have those different levels, and that they can relate to the children in different ways. I mean, the young high school kid is going to know all those rap songs and all those musics that the kids want to listen to, and their perspective. So, I think it is important that we understand their perspective, because that's respect for them, and they really like that when we listen to them, and they're going to listen to the art teachers too. So, I mean, that's why we'll maybe change up some of the art projects when we really get in tuned with where are these kids and what are their cognitive skill levels and those kinds of things. So yeah, we're listening to them, they're listening to us, and then having a range of age teaching really, I think, really helps.
So you have a place in Monterey, and nowadays you also have the place, so if I live closer to Greenfield, you also have something for those families as well. So can you tell us, like, is it very different from the summer camp that you have in Monterey? What would parents expect in Greenfield?
Well, in Greenfield, it's for the youth of Greenfield. So it's particular to the city.
It has to be the city. They have to be residents?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's for the residents, because in Greenfield there isn't really anything else. And you do in Soledad and King City, you have different programming. So what they can expect is that this is a middle school, high school. We're really going after those kids that are home alone while their parents are working, and might be a target for other activities that we don't want them to to get involved in. And so in that particular camp, we're really focusing on, first of all, that they know how to draw. And so we hire teachers that are from the culture. We feel that's really important. And then we always have 3 teaching, professional artists, another artist, and then an assistant. And there will be different age groups. So,
are their programs generally presented in a bilingual way, or is it mostly in Spanish? Bilingual.
Yes.
So, so people can come whatever their language of preference is. Really, they can come and feel comfortable. And do you have a culminating experience in Greenfield also?
Oh yes. At the end.
So what does that look like?
At the end of the summer is a large, because it's 8 weeks, and they can come the whole 8 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And part of that art camp is we always do a public art piece, and this year we're going to be doing some utility boxes in Greenfield.
Oh, a public art.
Yeah, public art.
Piece.
But
okay,
then,
awesome.
yes, but the reception that we'll have is always open to the public, and then that's all framed artwork, and then we might have some music, some dance from our local groups that use the center, and then we have food, and it's all the parents bring food, and it's pretty amazing.
Like you did with the Apple Park mural unveiling.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so wonderful.
Yeah.
So can you tell me just a little bit about your own background? I mean, you know so much about what makes the kids tick, how to get a teaching artist that's going to work, how to put the program together, and you seem to be really flexible about that whole thing about listening, watching, and then adapting to that. That not everybody can do that. How is it that you came to be able to handle all of that?
Well, I have a degree in art, and I taught art when I was in college and right out of college. So, you know, I understand about making art in a class situation and the vulnerability.
Oh.
You know, when you're in the now and you're making art, you're really not aware. And for some kids, being vulnerable can be very hard. So I understand that. And then, so having that background, I think has helped me making art, teaching art, and now putting together programs for children to make art. You know, it's so much fun. It really is so much fun, and the kids have so much fun. So that's my background, and it's a joy to be part of those art camps. I love it. So I'm not teaching, but I'll go in and assist when I can. You know, being the director of First Night doesn't give me the opportunity to be the teacher, but I go down to Greenfield and I go into Monterey, and the kids know who I am, and they really bond with the teachers.
Isn't that
and
wonderful?
that's really the most important thing, I think, is to have that bonding with the teachers, and then the kids bond with each other, and then they're having sleepovers and doing things after camp ends. And so that's really great, because we find that some children might come from afar to be with a parent that they don't necessarily live with.
That's a good point. Yes,
and so I have found that parents really love these camps that they're immersed in. They come in, they spend the day. There's breaks outside, both in Greenfield and Monterey, to play.
To move around.
Yes, and then they'll come up and they'll design their own games to play with, and they might make their. So, you know, it's free, but it's structured. If you can understand that.
Yeah. Brilliant. So we can't do better than that, can we? Over the summer, to keep the kids engaged, keep them moving, keep them learning, keep them able to, I notice a lot of kids really come out of their shells, as some people would say, where they might have been, you know, fairly quiet, reticent, not really eager to just jump into something. But over the course of the time with you, they just really do blossom and have a better sense of themselves. They develop that confidence. And I think it comes in part from going into a different situation, but being nurtured all the way along from, I don't know, to what else can you do? And then framing it, showcasing it, and connecting it all together.
Yeah.
So in the last couple minutes that we have, can you tell us a little bit more about what to expect this year with First Night? Will some of those kids be compelled, do you think, to bring their families and say, we got to go to first night because we are part of this camp? Is there a connection there too?
Well, yes, that's what's really great, is that we are engaging an audience that is part of our mission to engage, and then they are really interested in first night. They see all the posters and the buttons, and they sometimes make artwork for the theme. And this year the theme is Color Me Monterey.
Oh.
So we'll probably do an art project a couple weeks, maybe not all the weeks of art camp, but particularly with the older students. So their depiction of Color Me Monterey. So
cool.
With all of our programs that we do at First Night, we like to always bring those children and their families to First Night and have them participate, show their work, and be part of. So that's really, an added plus, is that they're then part of the larger community and part of a group of artists, no matter if they're young, emerging, professional.
So I'm sold. And actually, I had a fabulous experience with my own son. It was already many years ago, but it was phenomenal. And I think part of the joy of it was being part of the smaller group. When they're in school, just so much happening. This is a smaller group to be connected with during that whole week. Is so nice. So now I'm sold. Let's say I have another person that I want to bring to the summer art camps. I'm really excited about it. What do I do now?
Well, you should be going online and signing up.
firstnightmonterey.org?
Yes, firstnightmonterey.org. And you can find all the information on there. We're also on Facebook, and you can find out the information on Facebook. But you can download the application from the website, fill it out.
Easy.
You can pay on the website.
Okay.
So we have it really easy. And
are there scholarships too? Like, let's say I have a family that's struggling to pay. Is there something that we can do about that?
Yes, we worked that out, and actually we have a grading pay scale, so it goes down by 10 or 20%. It goes down by a percentage for each child. Yeah. So, then it's if you do 2 weeks, it's $100 less. So, but we work with all the families. Yes,
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Ellen, thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you for your leadership in the community. And happy to say also that congratulations to Ellen Martin. Also, she was a Champion of the Arts luminary this past year. And you just offer so much to the community every single day, every single year. So thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Paulette. Appreciate it.